Well, hello, and for those of you who like to listen to my daily vlogs, monologues, ramblings, I apologise that I've been missing in action, but after travelling, after running away with my travel, I find it quite difficult to come back home, and I find I need a little bit of time to acclimatise. So I thought I'd just come in and tell you what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks since I've got back, because my vlogs are about grief, disability and sobriety. So I thought it would be good to have an update because I've had lots of all of that stuff going on. So with my disabilities, I have fibromyalgia. I have functional neurological disorder, which means sometimes my brain and my body just don't work together properly. But friends that have known me for many years will go, tell us something we don't know. That's always just been you. And it's okay to just be you and be how you are. I also have arthritis and I struggle with anxiety a lot at the moment, to be fair. I do have history of agitated depression. I am on antidepressants. I don't think I'm actually depressed at the moment, but the anxiety definitely is there, especially when I'm travelling and doing things outside of my comfort zone. And I do like to push myself quite a bit. And one of the most important things for all of those illnesses is pacing. And as you will know, I'm not very good at doing that either. I'm very much a boom or bust type of girl. So I've been booming in my travels. Although I have been pacing some of that, I have to say, I have been pretty good. But when I got back, I was just exhausted. And when I get back, I'm faced with two things, which is the exhaustion of just all the travel, but also the grief really hitting me, because this is where I miss Andy the most. I mean, I miss him every day, but I miss him the most when I get back here. And I said to one of my friends when I got back, I said, the thing is, when I'm traveling, I can, he's with me all the time, but I have a whole new sort of persona, especially when I'm vlogging, have a different persona. When I get back here, I have to be me. But because Andy and I weren't always constantly here, sometimes he was in his caravan down in Essex, sometimes he was in the hospital and I wasn't with him. So it can be easy to pretend really that he's just somewhere else. And my friend said, is that very healthy? And I said, because she's a mental health nurse as well, and I went, well, actually, I think it is, because I know he's dead. I know he's gone. But it's just kind of, I can just, it's my way of coping. And that's okay, isn't it? It's okay to just have that fantasy almost that they might be coming back, even though you know that they're not. They're just somewhere else. But as Andy's very good friend says, Kev, he says, oh, he's just gone for a cornetto. It's fine. And the story behind that was that many years ago, he knocked on Andy's door in Basildon, Essex, and to go see if he wanted to go out for a bike ride, but Andy was already out on a bike ride. And when he caught up with him later, because this was the day before mobile phones, he said, well, where did you go? He said, well, I rode to Lowestoft, which is probably about 80, 90 miles away. And Kev went, what'd you go there for? And Andy went, for a cornetto. What else? Because that was Andy. You know, he'd drive round our land in Lincolnshire, he'd come up and just drive around the land in the car, and I go, what'd you do that for? And he'd go, because I can. So, yeah, oh, I do miss him. I do miss him. And especially now, because this last week has been quite a difficult grief week, because it has just been the year's anniversary of his passing. So he died on the 22nd of April last year. It was a Saturday. This year it was a Monday because it was a leap year, but to me it was more the Saturday, and it was that last week leading up to his passing. But what I've tried to do is to remember the good stuff of each day, not go to the bad stuff that was happening in hospital each day, but the good stuff, and hold on to the good stuff. And that's been good to remember the last film we watched, which was Nobody, and I managed to buy it on Netflix, and not Netflix, Prime. Managed to buy it on there, and I watched that on the Sunday, and just remembering, you know, his last beautiful smile he gave me, all the really nice stuff, because I think that's the thing. I remember, well, one of the things that in my sobriety journey I realised was my nan, who died in 1990, who was my life, who was the one person I always felt really believed in me and accepted me for who I was, although I now know there was lots of other people around, but for me that was how it felt. And when she died, I kept on for all those years, 30 years, holding on to her ending and the guilt stuff. And not doing her memory any justice for all the wonderful times we had. So I wrote her a letter of all the wonderful stuff that we did, and promised her from that moment on that I would remember her from the happy times. So that's what I've tried to do with Andy as well, and that really, really does help me. And when I went to see a spiritualist, at one point she said, he's saying just shut the door on everything that's gone. So when those doubts come in and those horrible thoughts, I'm like, no, he said shut the door. Anyway, he's allowed me to sort of kind of lounge around for a week, being a right couch potato, not doing anything very much at all. But yesterday I heard him say, right, that's enough now, Karina. That's enough. Get yourself out there. Start doing stuff. Pick yourself up. I've had enough now. Stop this. Because he would not want me sitting there in a mess. I've had lots of tears. And even at the end of my tears, I'm saying, right, okay, stop being a sloppy date now and just get on with it. Get on with your life. So that's what I've gradually been trying to do. It's hard because I can't go out for a bike ride. I did last night. So although Saturday was my day that I felt he passed, 22nd was yesterday, which was a Monday. And one of the things we used to do was have a Chinese quite a lot, especially when in the last few months, because a lot of the time he couldn't eat, and when he got out of hospital he could, and all he'd have is chicken and sweet corn soup. So I'd go to this one Chinese, which after he passed I had to explain to them why I'd continually gone for chicken and sweet corn soup, and I couldn't be bothered to go and get my bike out, and in the end I'm like, oh, just go and get a Chinese. So I went and I explained to the guy that it was Auntie's anniversary today, that day. And he went, right, he said, well, I know, because they're very good there. They give me all gluten-free stuff, make it all gluten-free for me. And he said, I know you can't eat the fortune cookie, but take it and just read your fortune. So I did. And the fortune was, strive for perfection in everything you do. Which is, you know, I always say, what is perfection? What's being perfect? I'm perfect at being me. And you're perfect at being you. Remember that. So yeah, I've been perfect at being me, of just lounging around like a couch potato all week, watching loads of Netflix stuff until I got really, really bored. But I have also not been very well. If you watched my vlog on Knoxville to JFK, you'll know that I had a bit of pain in my rib area, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be a urine infection or if it was my liver. It's my urine. I don't know if it's my liver. I don't think it is. I've just had bloods done. They haven't come back. Well, they have come back with, I need to speak to the nurse this Saturday. Well, obviously it's not that urgent. So I'm suspecting that my liver and everything is okay. And it's probably what we suspect, maybe gallstones on my gallbladder. But I'm going to have that phone call, because I know what they're going to say. It's going to be my cholesterol that's way up there again. And I'm so resistive to statins. I keep trying to do this with my diet. And I was 109 days off of sugar. So let's go flick to my addictions now. So I was 109 days off sugars until this weekend. Now, one of the things that I said to Drifter and to lots of people while I was out in America was, I was trying to get my head around how alcohol, like the one thing that I went to every day for many, many years, it was my go-to, it's my crutch, it's what I worked my whole day around. When could I have that next drink? Now repulsed me. And the one thing that was my go-to was now my like nemesis. It's like, oh my God, how did I ever do that? But I also remember saying as well, but I do know you can't get complacent. I know, because there's not one bit of me that wants to drink, or at times, most of the time, there's not one bit of me wants to drink, but every part of me wants to stay sober. But if you watch my JFK, A Night in JFK, you'll know that the addict voice came then. It did come for alcohol, and it also came for the sugars, but I resisted both. This weekend, I think because I was physically poorly, I've been absolutely exhausted, I've been in pain, I've been crying my eyes out, I've been all over the place. I've just been sitting for days watching loads of crappy Netflix. And I obviously was starting to get to the point of boredom, which quite early on in my sobriety journey, I realised, which I hadn't realised before, that a lot of my drinking was boredom and loneliness. I was watching these series and all the women are sitting there drinking this nice white wine. I'll say nice, that's how it felt at the time. I know now, I always know that it's not, but at the time it's like, oh. And my addict voice kicked in to the point of, should I just go down the shop and get a bottle of wine? I'm 3 years and 8 months sober. and a few weeks, but still bang at camp. And it was probably the strongest craving that I've ever had since I've been sober, or not probably sort of the first few weeks, but you know, certainly in the last few years. And the thing is that my go-to person that I'd always ring was Andy, and he's not here. So I sat and talked to him and I heard him saying, "Yeah, you don't want that. What do you want that for?" So I agreed with him. No, I didn't want that, but there was some chocolate and I did go down the shops and get gluten-free biscuits and stuff and naughties, but I didn't have a right binge. That is good. But it's just this self-punishment. It's turning the emotional stuff into physical pain. I was already in physical pain, so I just gave myself a little bit more. But there you go. So it's just, you can never be complacent. So that's where I'm at with my addiction. Today I'm very happy that I didn't cave, I didn't give in. One of the things I have been doing each day is reading from my book and posting it on sober websites. And my Facebook and my Instagram and my TikTok, it's not up so much on YouTube at the moment because you have to do it in a minute. So the one I need to read today, I did read again yesterday. We did read yesterday, but I need to do it again because it's a stress bucket and I can't do it quite in that minute. So I will be doing that shortly. And what I did do was I had a consultation yesterday with one of these people that goes, you know, your SEOs aren't right, your thumbnails aren't right, we need to reach more people. Do you want to reach more people? Yes, of course I do. I want to spread the word. I want more people to know about my book. I want more people to know about me and my vlogging and my travels, just so I can help people. My aim is to help people in recovery or sobriety or sober curious, to see that you can have fun without drinking, to help people in grief, to help people with disabilities of pushing those boundaries, to help people with mental health issues that, you know, we have to face, or we don't have to, but we can face our anxiety and our fears, and we can push through if that's what we want to do. I mean, I've been really anxious about doing this today. And I'm like, Karina, you're the only one making yourself do this. Nobody else is. So take that pressure off, you know, just flip things around. So it's about helping different ways of looking at things, you know, especially sort of, you'll see a lot of my anxiety management on my flying. When I'm flying, I don't like flying. And I've been watching some really good videos on YouTube about sort of, from pilots, about flying, the safety, about turbulence, which is great. But then you start getting the ones about the air crashes too, and I'm like, oh no. And I started watching them, and I want to go back to Australia in October. I've had to stop watching them because I won't get back on a plane. The other thing I've got is my Sobertown mug. I'm very proud. I'm pleased with this. I do need to get podcasting. And you know what, I'm gonna I've talked to Drifter about doing more of the interviews again. I used to do quite a lot of interviews and podcasting on Sobertown. I haven't done it for a while because obviously I've been busy doing other stuff, so I haven't been lazy. Apart from this last 2 weeks, I've been very lazy, but there you go. I'll give myself grace for that. So I'm going to start. So if any of you would like to come and have an interview, it'd just be like this, talking to me in my phone, like you're listening now. And I won't be talking much though. I stay very quiet when I do my interviews. I let you do all the talking. I might just ask some questions because I'm really interested in what you have to say. I don't want to hear my own voice. I talk enough. And what I thought that just come to me, which I think would be a really good one, is to interview someone that drinks, somebody who is a drinker that's been thinking about giving up, but can't quite, you know, because we have to do it when it's time for us, when we're ready. But do you think it'd be a good podcast to do? I think to interview someone that's sober curious, that's wanting to stop but needs that, and we could actually do sort of kind of a session of question, you know, of me sort of saying, you know, what's stopping you, what would you get out of it, doing all those things. That would be good. I'd be really interested in doing that. So if any of you out there are sober and want to come be interviewed, that's great. Come and tell your sober story. Come and spread the joy, spread the love. Or if any of you out there want to come and tell, you know, talk through that and get that final push to becoming sober, if you wish to do so, that would be great. Or the other thing, if you don't want to do that, you could just buy my book. It is available on Amazon, The A to Z of Alcohol and Sobriety. Everything you need to know by me, didn't you know? So it's cheaper than a bottle of booze, and I think it's well worth it because it will help you look at The whole point of it is to help you, to give the information. I'm all for Capacity Act. I'm all for informed choice. I'm all for everyone being given the information that they need to make a decision, be it a wise one or not. So it's everything you need to know to make a decision about your drinking or your sobriety journey. Might just be a little help. There you go. Other things that I've been buying this week, apart from my Sabretown mug, is I gave myself a push and I bought the GoPro. Now, the story behind this, it came on Saturday, because also, if you know me, I'm a right technophobe, and I'm like, oh no, I've got to start. I thought it was going to sit there for a week in the box, but it didn't. I got it out on the same day. I thought, I'll get it out, charge it up, and it starts doing all these things about, you know, connecting it to your phone, and that's fine. But then I realised there's no scan disc in there. There's no card. So I'm like, well, that's no good. It's useless, isn't it, without that? And I'm thinking, or do I have to buy that separately? Because I know you can buy them separately. But surely there should be one in there, because what's the point of buying all this and not having a scan disc? Because you can't use it until you got one. So I got onto Amazon. And they said, very sorry about that. No worries. Be assured we will send you another one out and it will be with you tomorrow. Meaning yesterday, Monday. It's not here. So I got onto Amazon again. And I went, right. I said, you know, this is a situation. I was told one would be out. Because I haven't ordered it, it doesn't show up on my orders. Has it been delivered? If so, where's it been delivered to? Because basically I've got this and it's useless. I can't, well, this is useless because it's just the box. Sorry. I diverse. I like to have a little bit of fun. Sober isn't boring. That's my whole message. So I can't believe this has happened to me, actually, because things like this just don't happen to me. I'm still thinking, oh, is this karma? Is something else going to come and bite me on the bum? So I've measured them today and I've said, look, I just want, all I need is a scan disc card. I just need that and then it will work. And I don't know what's happened to the card they were meant to be sending out. They kept me on the line and kept apologising. Sorry, it's just I'm having to go to a colleague, blah, blah, blah. And then they went, right, what we're going to do is we're just going to give you a full refund. I went, okay, would you like it credited to your Amazon account or to your card, your payment card? And I went, to my payment card, please. And they've just given me a £369 refund. When all I wanted was a scan disc card. That's all they had to do was send me a scan disc card out and it will all work. It will be fine. And then I'm waiting for the returns label for me to send it back. And I haven't had anything. I suspect it might come. I don't know. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. But I was honest with them. I told them this is all what I wanted. I haven't lied. I've just said, can you please just send me a scan disc code? And instead they've given me a full refund. But watch your space. We'll see what happens. And I'm thinking, something bad's going to happen. I'm like, oh. So this is my anxiety thinking. This is my negative thinking. I'm a great believer in karma. I'm a great believer in what we reap is what we sow. You know, if you plant tomato plants, you're not going to get sunflowers, are you? So, you know, sunflowers, you know, you have to plant sunflower seeds if you want sunflowers. And I do believe in the karma of after each life. But perhaps this is someone paying me back for something good. I mean, I've also had a letter from Volkswagen saying, because I was the guarantor on my son's car, like finance car, which was just as well, because it was a couple of months he couldn't pay it way back when. And they want to give me £200 back as a goodwill gesture. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm hoping, because I've paid somebody to come in and try and manage some of my YouTube, to try and get the tags right, the SEO stuff right. So I had a consultation with them yesterday. I think I might have started saying something about that yesterday and gone off on a tangent. Yesterday? Earlier in this tape. Oh my God. But you know what I'm like. So I've paid them some money to come and manage this. And then I'm like, oh my goodness. Are they actually going to do it? What's going to happen? But I'll keep you posted. Hopefully that will be okay too. So I've talked a bit about my disability. I'm getting back to my pacing. I'd like to get out riding, but I can't at the moment because the weather is rubbish, really, really rubbish. And interesting enough, Andy died on the 22nd of April. when I was looking back on my photos, on the 22nd of April in 2021 was the first time we went over to Bourne in Lincolnshire to test ride the Rykers, the Can-Am Rykers, and then the dream was born from there. So that was good. And the year before last we were out riding. Last year obviously we weren't, we were in hospital. And yeah, so the Ryker has given me a real sense of freedom. Andy gave me, he had a belief in me. He gave me a confidence boost. He got me to believe in myself again. And from there, I went from a wheelchair to walking frame to riding the Can-Am Ryker and now travelling the world, you know, sometimes on my Ryker and sometimes by plane. And my next trip that I need to get ready for is to Austria, and I'm going at the end of May. And I have to say, I am really, really, really anxious about that. I mean, like some days I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? And I nearly didn't go. I'm nearly like pulled out and thought, no, I nearly didn't pay for my registration. I thought, no, I'm not going to do this. But then I realised that when I see everyone's beautiful photos out in Austria, I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I'd gone and I wish I was there. So I'm going to face that fear and I'm going to do it anyway. And that's why I've got my GoPro. And I've also ordered a TomTom, which is the worldwide one. I'm not going to be riding alone. Hopefully I'm going to hook up with somebody in Holland, Alison, and we will ride together. But because I don't know if I have to do it on my own. I have to do it on my own. But I don't have to, do I? It's only me putting that pressure on myself. If it comes to the day and I don't want to do it, then you don't have to do it. And the next thing I'm doing after that, I'll be back. I'm going to do that for a couple of weeks. I'm coming back, and then I'm going to ride from Liverpool right around Scotland to Scarborough, and meeting some Sabre warriors on the way, riding Scotland with Lynn Manns again, which I'm really, really excited about. And I'll also see her in Austria as well. So that would be good. I'm not anxious and nervous about that one. I'm looking forward to that because I'm riding on the right side of the road. Well, actually, no, I'm not riding on the left side of the road, but the right side of the road for me, if you get what I mean. And I understand all the signs. But, you know, I went to Ireland and Wales, and a lot of them were written in Welsh and Irish. And I got round there. So it will be fine. It will all be okay. And then I'm hoping to go back to Australia at the end of October for the Jacaranda festivals. It's the last week of October, first week of November, and you have to wear purple. It's when the Jacaranda trees come out. They're all purple and have a big festival. So I'm hoping to go there. And then Julia and I are thinking of possibly going and doing some volunteering for a week or two, maybe to Fiji for 2 weeks with kindergarten kids, which I think is what I really, really fancy doing. Or to Bali to go and do to the Nasu Island to do some turtle preservation, which I also fancy doing. So we're looking at those, and we'll be hopefully doing that. I'm only going to go away for a month this time. I've decided that a month is enough for me. Anyway, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Probably not. It's like an interview, isn't it? You get back out and you go, I wish I said that, I wish I'd said this. Cause it's all been going through my head, what I wanted to say. And what have I missed? But it doesn't really matter, does it? It's a bit like being a ballet dancer on the stage. If you go wrong, no one knows, because only you know what you're supposed to do. Unless you fall arse over tit, of course, then people will probably know if your legs are kimbo and everything. But yeah, I think I've said enough for now. I think I'm going to go finish my coffee. Chin chin. See you when I see you.